everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. Just here to pop down our cards for this week. Just going to have a little shuffle of the black and white Faulkner deck and put down our first card. Okay. So, first of all, we have the Hierophant. So, Hierophant, great card. This is a card that talks about many different things. It's a very spiritual card. So, in the old tarot, the old kind of Rider-Waite and Marseille and things like that, it's quite often represented by the Pope. So it can have lots of religious connotations. I don't tend to read it that way, but it can also be talking about structure and order, and things like big organisations, big companies, or things like universities, hospitals, that kind of thing. So it could be saying that at the beginning of the week you are maybe going to have dealings with something, a situation or a person where you are required to be have some order and to be able to kind of have some structure around what you want. You might feel like that's a bit constraining. It might be frustrating for you. That's just one of the Hierophant kind of energies, and that's what I was drawn to this time. But it predominantly talks about spiritual practice, and it might just also be saying to you that this is a week where you might need to focus on that spiritual practice, so that you can start to move forward in a more ordered and more structured way. So that's the Hierophant energy. It is spiritual, so it can be asking you to meditate and you know, things like yoga, things like guided visualization, praying, if that's your thing. But it's definitely a very, very spiritual card. So let's have a look and see what this beautiful Heaven and Earth tarot has for us this week. Oh, got a jumper. Let's get it. It's on the floor. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the... Sorry, I have to hold this up to the light to be able to read it properly because, and if you can see, the writing is really, really pale. And we've got Roman numerals up at the top, but they're really pale as well. And it takes me ages to suss out what we've got here. So here we have the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is a beautiful card. It is all about happiness. It is all about joy. I think this says, and this could be because I've got my reading glasses on, but I've got some extra powerful ones that are probably needed with this. Because the writing's very kind of what I would call flowery writing. This seems to be talking about material happiness. That's not how I read the Nine of Cups, to be honest. I would read it as emotional happiness and joy, happiness around love. This is one of the wish cards in the deck, and it's the wish card of the Minor Arcana. So you have the Star as the wish card in the Major Arcana. This is the wish card in the Minor Arcana. So to me, this is talking about emotions. The cups are all about emotions. This is about your wishes coming true. Hopes, dreams, wishes coming true around things like love, happiness, joy, family, emotions. It's that kind of energy. So this Hierophant is kind of leading us into this joyful state. So being in that kind of energy of being mindful of our spiritual practice and focusing on our joy is what we're talking about at the beginning to the middle of next week. So it's really, really beautiful energy to start the day, start the week with. Really, really positive lovely tarot cards for the beginning of the week. So I'm just going to pop down a card from the Arboretum Oracle. I love this Oracle deck. It's so pretty. Okay, here we have sorting. So this reminds me, the first thing I thought of, and you can see where my interests lie, was straight away was the sorting hat, and how the sorting hat sorted the Hogwarts students, first years, into their houses. So that's what it feels like we're doing. So it could be you working out where you fit in. So you sorting you. I mean, we don't have a sorting hat in the real world to sort us into our houses or into our little sections, nor should we. That's great in fiction, but in real life, you have to find your own place, and you don't have to fit into, I want to say, you don't have to fit into a box that is predetermined by anybody else. You go where you want to go. You don't have to go in any box if you don't want to go in a box. So that's the energy that it feels like for me. I suspect that when I look in the book, it's going to be talking about getting things in order, decluttering, that sort of thing. And that would tie in quite nicely with the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is all about that. The order of things, getting things in order, being structured. So I'm just going to have a little look and see what the little message is about sorting, because like I said, this book actually is brilliant. It has little stories that go with each card, but it would take ages to read all of that out. So the little message here is: a cupboard never open is always bare. Open the doors wide and often. Keep that which you need or that makes your heart sing, and discard all that is no longer necessary. For someone else may have the perfect home or need for them. So there's a lot of energy in that just on its own. So could be talking about doing things like having a declutter, having a sort out, deciding what you're going to keep and what you're not going to keep. I had a big old chuck out of some stuff a couple of weeks ago, and it feels great when you can do it. Sometimes people don't have the energy. Sometimes people have all sorts of attachments to things, and that can be very difficult. But even if you just throw out a couple of little things, a couple of things that you're not going to use anymore, a couple of things that are finished with, and, you know, you don't have to actually just throw them away. You can give them away. If there's something, if somebody could get some use out of it, you could just take it along to a charity shop or a bring and buy sale, put it on eBay, anything like that, to let somebody else have a turn with it. Because just because it's sitting around cluttering your house up and you're not using it, doesn't mean somebody else might not be able to. So that's a great message from that card as well, is to let go of anything that's kind of cluttering your life up that you don't need anymore, and sending it off to find some love in a different place. I think that there's also something in that about hanging on to stuff about ourselves that we don't need to hang on to anymore. It's like I was saying, you don't have to fit into anybody else's box. You can fit into whatever you want to fit into. It doesn't even have to be a box. So I think there's a message about being yourself in there as well. So good energy. I'm just going to have a little shuffle of Brian and see what Brian has got to say. Okay, let's see. Well done. So Brian is saying, well done. You have my approval on this one. Congratulations. It's time to celebrate soon. So that's a fantastic ending to the week. It feels like it's going to be productive. It feels like we have purpose. It feels like we are following our heart, which is what the Nine of Cups is all about. Yes, we might need to get some things in order, might need some structure, might need to really focus on our spiritual practice, but we are sorting things out through the week that is going to enable us to get to the point where we can say, well done. So that's fantastic. Hopefully that has helped, and hopefully that will make sense to you over the coming week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel, or both. Neither of those things cost anything and they really help my channel to grow. So that would be lovely if you would do that for me. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.